Ever since I was a child, I longed to hear the stories my father would bring home. His sword was my connection to the adventures. Tales of treasure, war, and great beasts. As he searched to find what was stolen, until he never came home. It's been 15 years. I'm not the child I once was. His stories built a fire that shaped who I have become. I do not know his fate, nor can I wait any longer to know where he is, or if he's dead. One thing is certain. I will finish anyone who stands in the way of me finding my father. To hear of my adventures, visit me at ARDANNA.com.
All right. When is the movie coming out?
Yeah, that pretty much sums it up, right?
How awesome is that? That has the did Ascension Cinema did that surely?
Yeah.
It had signature all over it. That was amazing.
Yeah.
Welcome everybody.
Yeah. Thanks, man. Thanks.
Yeah, thanks. So we got Wyatt Holliday here, the creator of this marvelous book we just saw a little trailer of. Smiling Bandito's here. Poland's here. There is another character here. Blue is here. He's in the back room, but his device seems to not be connected. So, but hey, just first off, look at this chat. It goes all the way back. What the hell is going on here? Hello, everybody in the chat there. We've got Mandy Summers, Jade Spider-Man, Vlad Vexer, not the Vaxer. Oh, White, I see you're in there. Peter Gilmore's here. Fatty's here. Wow, there's just so many. I've never had so many.
That's fantastic. Cool. Jade Spider-Man, and we got Felix is here, and Chaotic Neutral.
Chaotic Neutral's here. He's saying hail to Mandy.
Sexiest chat in CG. Oh my goodness.
Absolutely. El Argo's here saying, hey, everyone. Antoine agrees with me. These trailers just keep getting better and better.
As long as Antoine's here, that's all that really matters.
There you go.
It was really sunny in this room about a minute ago, and then just the sun turned off, and now I'm sitting here in the dark. Damn you clouds! I'm the old man yelling up at the clouds.
Shake your fist more, Bancroft to the sky.
Old man Bancroft.
Marsupial Gamers here says ahoy. Oh, look at all these people. This is amazing. Thank you all so much for coming. You all must love. I got the pronunciation now. It's ARDANNA.
Yeah.
So thank you to Ascension Cinemas. Did he use the same woman, do you know, who did the voiceover?
I don't know if it was the same. I'm not sure about that.
It sounds like it. Definitely.
It does sound like her. She's on Twitter, and she did a recreation of the scene in Cyberfrog of Heather Swain and that guy, and she knees him in the balls. They were really good. She did photographs and everything. They got up in the costumes, and they were good photos too.
Yeah, yeah. After I saw that, really he was on Charlie's London's channel.
Did we lose you
one night?
Yep. No, we lost you, Smiling Bandito. It's all good. We're all good here.
Yep, we're good.
That would happen.
And then I just talked to him after that to see what we could figure out, and we had a couple meetings, and
means that I've gone out.
He did the audio. He did the audio, like a remix on my trailer as well.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
He calls it fat reverbs. It's all like "Woo in a world," and it's kind of fits in with all the Christopher Nolan-esque audio that I put in there, all the bombs and
sounds like
that.
Bancroft's talking with a tuba.
Wow. Mandy says she wants to see 3K on ARDANNA tonight. What are we on? We can do that. Come on.
Yeah, I'd like to
in the
see
chat.
that.
Hex Allen is here, throwing out hails like they're nothing. So, Wyatt, thank you so much for coming on. It was a little late notice. I know that just seems to be the case with me all the time.
Oh man, thanks for having me.
No, of course. We like to have a little chat at the start of the first half hour, and get to know our guests a little bit. See what they're all about, touch them up and down, see what they're made of. Why don't you just start off a little bit, if you could, if you want to, and just tell us a little bit about your background, how you got into comics, and how you found yourself here in CG and on this stream.
To go way back, my mother taught me how to read with comics. I really liked Spider-Man and Hulk. So I learned how to read through comics, and I was always a fan. After that, I grew up loving it. A lot of them got destroyed when you're a kid, But
yep.
Then
well read.
Yeah. So I get into high school, maybe junior high school age, become a collector and all that. I mean, I've always been into comics, and then I don't know. I probably fell by the wayside for a few years, after that, and then
tends to happen.
I've always wanted to work on comics, man. I tried, I tried to get some stuff together, several years ago. There were a couple of stop-starts. And then I was working on ARDANNA actually as a series of fantasy novels, and the timing on everything just got right. An artist I was going to work with on some things in 2009. We kind of reconnected, and like I say, it was kind of a perfect storm. And I had already been around Comicsgate. I'd been watching. I didn't even have a Twitter account actually, but I had been watching Ethan. His live streams and his channel, and of course, your boy Zach. And when everything came together, and I decided to do this as a series of maybe graphic novels as opposed to actual novels. The timing was right. Everything came together, and I just decided to pull the trigger on this baby.
Fantastic. It seems like a lot of people are sharing very similar stories on that front. I hear that a little bit. It's just, with everything happening, it was kind of like jump on the wave now or get left behind.
Yeah, it's
we live in a primordial age with Comicsgate.
Yep. Peter says, "I've heard there's knights." What's that? What's he talking about?
We'll get to that. It's something, man. It's something like Mandy likes to aggravate me about. Yeah. We'll get to the knights. Don't worry, Mandy. We'll get to the knights.
Jeremy's here. He says, as he always does, how the fucking chat. Mandy, thank you so much. She says the Lucent looks incredible too. Guys, just one sec. Talk amongst yourself. I'm going to turn my light on. 1 sec.
Great.
What was the inspiration for this particular character? Like, you've been on a couple books now, and what brought you around to this one?
I grew up playing a lot of like Dungeons and Dragons and other tabletop games. Usually I always got stuck as the DM. That's just the way things worked out, so I had a lot of experience, creating settings and things like that. Well, when the newest iteration of D&D came out, which I guess is 5th edition, I picked it up just to read. I haven't played in a long time. I picked it up to read and go through, and I started thinking, if I were going to do a new game and a new setting, what would I want to do? So I started making all these notes and things like that. And then that eventually became the world that is actually the same setting as ARDANNA. And, since I wasn't actually playing, I just decided to create the heroes to go into this world. So, that's, inspiration comes from, of course, there's the obvious Conan and Red Sonja type influences.
That's exactly what I was thinking. Robert E. Howard. I thought for sure.
A lot of Robert E. Howard. Yeah, a lot of Edgar Rice Burroughs. I'm a big Burroughs fan, especially John Carter, any of the Barsoom stuff. And then I draw inspiration from other places. Like I'm a big fan of Greek mythology, as well as other classics like Orlando Furioso, some of the other French classics, and so I kind of it's a little Conan, a little Red Sonja, a little Greek mythology, a little D&D, and a whole lot of Wyatt. So
Sword and Sorcery Blender compilation.
Yeah. Very, very much more sword and sorcery than it is high fantasy, like say Lord of the Rings or something like that.
Right.
So, yeah.
Here's a question I need to start asking everyone. Your name isn't Michael, but are you a graphic designer by trade?
No, I am not.
Okay.
Nope. Broke the streak.
I asked. It's like 9 times out of 10, people who come onto my show are graphic designers. I don't know why I'm attracting them like flies, but I noticed as well you have a really nice logo there. Did you do that to yourself, or did you pay someone to get your logo done? It's really always an overlooked element, I feel.
Believe it or not, I actually did do that myself.
From a graphic designer, I say well done.
Thank you. I'm not really a graphic designer by trade, but I've played with Illustrator and things like that enough to find my way around and kind of figure out what I'm doing. I wouldn't ask anybody to pay me for it, but I wouldn't try to charge anyone. So, I can do enough to get the job done, I think.
Yeah, it looks it. I was going through your campaign earlier because I've seen ARDANNA around. This is like a second chance campaign, isn't it?
Yes.
This is like a Vinny Tartamella. He had a book, and then Comicsgate happened and blew up, and he got a bigger profile. So I thought, well, there's people who didn't know about this earlier. It's time to get it out there again. Fatty has a question.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Fatty has a question. Why no YouTube? Is that what he's saying? YouTube?
Yeah.
No Wyatt YouTube page?
Wyatt hangs out on Mandy's channel. I don't really do anything on my channel. I just kind of squat over there. So
I think that's the highest place I ever met you on. It was on Mandy's show.
Yeah. Any videos and things? I've got some things I'm going to be working on. I have a couple of videos I want to work on and get together. And so anything I put together will just be on Mandy's channel anyway. So.
Well, cheers to a fellow squatter. That's pretty much what Blue, Poland, and I just do. Just squat on Bancroft.
Until one day you fly the nest out on your own. You take to the wings. Just little.
Yeah. Well, I mean, stick together a while and get something going, and then the time might say for example the time may come when Mandy and Peter and I have 3 channels instead of 1, and but Mandy and I, we met, when we kind of started about the same time. She was maybe a couple weeks behind me coming to CG, so we were always like on the same streams together, and so every time I go on a stream there's Mandy, because we a year ago, I mean, it wasn't anything like it is now.
Did you put out a comic book? Did you, like, for instance, this one before CG? Were you in comics before CG? Did you say?
No. I had started working on this one before I was officially CG and whatnot, but because we almost had this one wrapped up when we launched the first time. So so I've been working on it a little bit, for a little while, but once, I knew, I didn't really know how to go about getting into CG, so to speak, even though really, now, all you got to do is show up and interact with people. It's not that hard. But, at the time, I didn't even have a Twitter account, man. I never had a Twitter account in my life. I
suppose, I've seen that as well. I've seen a bunch of people who now, are still around, involved. I've seen, them coming in and saying, I want to be CG. What do I have to do?
Yeah.
And it's like, well, are you this? Are you if you're asking that question, you're probably already considered CG by everyone else. So I guess it's too late now. You're in.
Yeah, there's no secret handshake or no rituals, at least not that I'm aware of. I heard there was a burner phone, but I never got mine.
No oaths or blood sacrifices.
Yeah. You haven't gotten your ceremonial robe yet?
No.
No. Yeah.
That must be
Why,
coming
you
in
haven't
the
been
card
mail.
or nothing.
You haven't been tribunaled yet?
Missed that part.
I was most excited about the sacrificial dagger, but I didn't get that either. So
yeah, there's a delay. It's all coronavirus related.
It's in the mail. It's in the mail.
We have spares.
Hey, Vlad says he's going to grab the Lucent Friday. Thank you so much, Vlad. That's awesome to hear. Yeah, I've had a bunch of new backers just over the last day. I thought, it's all slowed down now because I didn't have any for like, I don't know, 24-hour period or something, and I was freaking out a little bit. But they were just holding out on me.
Yeah, I actually had a couple people on a show earlier say that they're going to be backing it here this week.
Oh, excellent.
Everyone likes to come in at that last moment, give you that last week boost.
Mm-hmm.
Joe wants to know if your back hole is still intact. Well, you don't have to answer that question.
Fully functional and up to speed, man.
Good for purpose. All right.
Love Joseph.
Yeah, we do love Joseph here. Big friend of the show. What about the secret decoder ring? Yeah, that's another thing we could do. I mean, we could do anything. That's what CG has sort of proved. When it comes to crowdfunding, we can do pretty much whatever we want over here.
Yeah, there was somebody who had the decoder ring not too long ago. I'm trying to remember who that is. Yeah, I can't remember off the top of my
Some cool
head,
person, no doubt. All right, so ARDANNA. Let's just start going through the campaign a little bit and have a chat about this. I will freely admit, I've seen this book around, but I haven't actually looked into it too closely yet. So I haven't, I just looked at the art. The art obviously looks amazing. But you're the writer, I'm hearing.
Correct.
And who's the artist?
It's a buddy of mine named Dean Flores. We like I said, we had decided, we had talked about working on something back in 2009, but our schedules were just both, we just weren't on the same page at the time as far as scheduling. And, a year and a half maybe ago, the timing started getting, we just were able to pull it off. And
straight off, I'll say she has a lovely pair of headlights there.
Yeah.
Set the high beam.
I wanted to my first campaign, this book, this is the second chance. So my first campaign, of course, was ARDANNA 0. And but at the time, didn't get around as much as I would have liked. And a lot of people missed it. And then Comicsgate kind of blew up after this campaign ended. And I had so many people come to me like, hey, you've done a book? And I'm like, yeah. And so a lot of people have been asking for it. I kind of blundered in the beginning. I closed the campaign far too early. I thought I was going to go to print sooner than we did. You're going to have a couple of hurdles and missteps on the first campaign. I mean, it could have been worse, so so this is essentially the second chance. And then if you missed the first campaign, you're not missing any of the story. So
she takes her headlights off. Yeah, I mean, it was kind of like people were still figuring stuff out. Even all the big guys like Ethan and Zach, they made huge blunders on their first campaigns. Just figuring stuff out and exactly how it was all going to go down.
Yeah, there's a lot of trial and error, and there's not really an instruction manual that's going to work the same for everyone. So when, that's what I tell people when they ask me for advice. I'm like, I can't tell you what to do, but I can tell you what I did and how it worked for me. And, that's not necessarily, going to work for everyone. So, so there's really no guide.
I'm trying to figure out how Mandy would say that booty in her accent, but I'm coming up blank. I can't.
That booty, y'all.
That booty, y'all. She said, I love that booty, y'all. Thank you.
Like,
sorry if that's insulting.
What about that booty?
Crackhead Jeremy loves that cover, so there you go. Absolutely. What's not to love about it?
Yeah, that cover is actually you damn right, Fatty.
It's like a recolor of the Summer Fun one, right?
Absolutely, yeah. This is actually
the difference is just day and night.
Literally, yeah. Yeah, this is a variant of the original Summer Fun variant that we had. That one, of course, it was all sunny and nice and beachy, and I thought it'd be cool to do a nighttime one as a variant, and then they'll look really cool together.
Very nice. Yeah, so this art, I'm really feeling it. I have a kind of, it's not exactly the same, but you've got, it's very realistic, like really good backgrounds. I think too many people, they kind of fluff the backgrounds too much, and you lose a bit of the story and the setting and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So I like what your buddy has done here. Is he doing the coloring as well?
No, the colors were actually done by Farah, who colors most CG books now.
Farah.
So
I'm telling you,
the mysterious.
That's what I'm saying, guys.
The ubiquitous.
I invited her onto a stream. She doesn't stream. She says she's not ready to stream yet, but she put in a yet, so that means one day maybe. And maybe I'll get dibs on that because
Michael, we need an
I want to talk to the Eric Weathers of CG coloring.
Right.
She's a phenom. She's everywhere.
Yeah, that's also who lettered this book. So.
Oh.
It'd be Eric. So yeah. So yeah, I kind of had some colors in mind to give it this, this look and style that it has, and she said, "Sure thing, I can do this," and yeah, she sure did. So
yeah, fantastic. See, these colors, they're what I would consider native colors in that everything is colored as it is, but it all has this sepia wash over it that kind of adds to the story, to the tone of the story. She definitely knows what she's doing, and then on top of that, she must be really fast because she's on every second book.
Yeah.
She is making bank.
I hope so. I hope she's I think she's in Indonesia, isn't she?
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah, so like the US dollar, can you imagine how far the US dollar would go in Indonesia? She's probably sitting in a mansion right now. Just like kicking back. I remember I was in my dad lived all over Asia because he was a pilot, and we go stay with him. I was in Thailand, and we were kids, and you could go and buy a Magnum ice cream. You've got them there, yeah, Magnum ice creams.
Oh yeah,
like that. Yeah, you could buy them for like 10 cents. So we were getting fat. We were just in like, this is heaven. What is happening? Antoine has a question. He says, Wyatt, I noticed the page count is 24 pages. Will ARDANNA be continued, or is this a complete story? Gorgeous end product, by the way. Thank you, Antoine.
Thank you, Antoine. This is actually, it is 24 pages, but, I made it issue number 0 with the idea that this is your introduction to your characters and the story, and we are definitely going to move on from here. The next book and subsequent books will be 48 pages plus. This was kind of testing the water, once again, when you first start this, you may not really know what you're getting into, and So, as opposed to, coming out with 100-page book.
Yeah. 130. Go 130. Why not? Full color.
Yeah. So I figured,
what could go wrong?
Yeah, let's start small. And see if the audience is into this. Because it's not superhero. I understand. Fantasy is fantasy is going to have its own fans. And so I just wanted to see what we could do with it. And but yeah, from here on out, this story, issue 0, it introduces our characters, introduces our first major villain, and the next book will be not only the continuation of the introduction here, but a complete story in itself. So this is the lead into it.
Fatty stole my question. Where are her organs, Wyatt? Look at her. She's emaciated.
In her
see
boobs.
her ribs.
They're in her backpack.
Is that a magic backpack?
Blue says he's found her ribs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what happened. When you're a starving adventurer out there, traveling all the time, you stay from, you live in tavern to tavern. I mean, sometimes you gotta go hunt bandits and whatnot to get reward, and sometimes it's not very much. So you just gotta eat what you can along the way.
Yeah, just get a
Try to
little
stay in
gaunt.
shape.
Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, this is all about the reality. This is about being in a realistic environment. None of this fantasy stuff. This is about the bare bones, literally.
Is there like a fantasy kind of fast food hamburger joint, I wonder, she could go to?
She might, maybe.
Really.
Well, she'll have to look.
Who are these guys?
Oh, these would be the knights.
They're the knights. They're the infamous knights.
No, in reality, these guys are called the Ordo Mordoom, which means the unliving order, and they're chosen at birth and trained throughout all their life, so that after they die, they continue to go on inside. They're bound to their armor, so they're magically bound to the armor, so they continue on even in the afterlife.
Wow. Walking on.
So they're chosen by birth to die.
Correct.
That's the short end of the straw.
Well, we're all gonna die.
Well, that's what
these guys are chosen.
Wait, do they die? Do they die when you put them in the armor, or do they live on through their armor?
No, they live on through the armor. Yeah.
Okay, so it's
like a Darth Vader
undead
suit.
Right. So once they die, the armor keeps them going. Yeah.
This guy's having a bad day.
Creepy.
Yeah, not a good day to be him. No.
A unscheduled emergency tracheotomy or something.
She
Just
could be
trying to
saving
help
his
him
life.
breathe.
Yeah. She could be saving
Somebody
his
get
life.
a
We don't
pen.
know.
Wyatt, does ARDANNA does she have any powers?
I'm guessing you're asking due to the footprint in the guy's chest there. That will be revealed, but she is certainly stronger than your average person, and we'll get into that as the story goes on. But no, she's not like like a sorceress or anything like that.
I'm just looking at her bicep, and I definitely would not want to get into a fight with her.
I'd take her. I'd take her.
Yeah, she's about 6 feet tall.
Sweep the leg.
Strong. Yeah.
And I should actually rephrase that. It's not that I wouldn't want to get into a fight with her. I just have to be resigned to not winning that fight as much as I would enjoy it.
Yes, I mean, she's strong enough to leave a footprint in a guy's armor when she kicks him. So, I mean,
It's pretty stout.
Do you have like wizards and stuff in this story?
yes, dark wizards, kind of like your usual sword and sorcery. As far as magic, a lot of the time, more often than not, it will come from an evil source, like a dark spirit or a demon or whatnot might bestow this power upon somebody. or or through various deals made with these creatures. So yeah, there's magic and monsters and any all the stuff you'd expect from sword and sorcery and fantasy and all that good stuff.
Nice.
The power of boobies, says Mandy. You certainly don't mind a bit of a sword through the head or neck, I see.
No,
it's
no.
a very vulnerable place to get struck. Did any of you guys see Hot Fuzz?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
It's one of my favorites.
It's a great moment in Hot Fuzz where the bad guy gets impaled through his mouth on a piece from a church or something. Is it? No, it's not from a church. It's a model. It's a small model. Yeah. It's like, this really hurts. Yeah, I guess you had to be there. It's a dark comedy.
It's one of the best.
We have dark. I love dark comedies. Okay, here's a dark comedy for you. Has anyone seen Chopper, the Australian film with Eric Bana?
No.
I showed
confidence I have not.
I showed Mel. This is the movie that made Eric Bana a Hollywood star. Everyone in Hollywood was raving about it, and he went over there. He plays this massively overweight, crazy enforcer guy from the underworld of Melbourne crime. And I mean, when I say dark comedy, it's like it's dark, and it's so Australian. I mean, you just have to kind of understand Australian. Peter Gilmore says, yeah, Chopper is awesome. Hex Allen says, yeah, saw Chopper long ago. It's a fantastic performance. It's so crazy that when they invited Eric Bana over and he came over as himself, they were blown away. They couldn't believe it was the same person. I showed it to Mel. Mel's my wife, Wyatt, when we first met, and she's French. She barely spoke English, and she was like, oh my God, what the hell have I gotten into? What are these crazy Australians?
Oh, see, I thought you were talking about Mel Gibson.
They're all pretty much the same.
Yeah, I mean, you all know each other, right?
Yeah. Although I say that Eric Bana lives just around the corner.
Oh,
from
there
here.
it is.
There he is. That's Chopper.
Oh.
That's Chopper. Well, that's Eric Bana as Chopper. Yeah. So
we need you to track down Shadiversity next, Michael.
Oh, that would be awesome. I think Brian would want to get in on that.
How many famous people are you stalking?
Only a few.
Eric Bana lives around the corner. It's very probable.
Well, when I say around the corner, it's like a 20-minute drive.
It's very probable that Eric is stalking Michael Bancroft.
Everybody's got a hobby.
I mean, Shad could be stalking us.
No, probably not.
Could be. I don't know.
I don't know if I know I'm not cool enough. Maybe you guys are.
So this has been going 4 days now, and you've already got 60 backers, and you just blew straight through your goal.
Yeah, so we're doing pretty well. I'm pretty happy with the way things have started off. Yeah.
Are these books you've already got, or are these you're printing new books? What's going on there?
I'm going to be printing new ones.
Yep.
We're adding. It is 24 pages of art and story, but I am adding a few pages of bonus content that will include a character guide, as well as a legend for the map, because there's a map in the back of the book and of the region, and this would detail some of the locations and some of the information about these locations. Kind of give everybody more of an insight into the world and the setting.
You just got me super excited. I mean,
calm down.
I got goosebumps. I mean, when we open up a book, when you open up a book and you saw that map on the inside, and it was just like, ooh, here's a new place to explore. And
I love maps. I love maps. I kind of, when I read a story with a map, like in a novel, I just have my hand there, like my finger on it, my thumb there the whole time. So I'm constantly back and forth and just like, going through it. I love that stuff. I love a good map in a story.
Yes.
Fatty wants me to talk about Ronnie Johns. He's the guy who does the Chopper TV show, doesn't he? Like, he's another comedian who does a Chopper impersonation. This guy Chopper was a real dude. He was a real, just crazy guy who lived in Melbourne. Again, here we go, more famous people. Some of my mates became friends with him in his later life.
Oh wow!
So he was a real guy, and he wrote a bunch of books, and he was like a best-selling author, even though he was famously illiterate. There you go. Bit of Australian Melbourne folklore there.
It's never too late to learn.
If you guys want to see the map, I can show you guys what it looks
pull
like.
it up.
Yeah.
Oh,
lead the way, Wyatt. Lead the way.
Why have you been holding out on us like that? Why you gotta be
Hang on. Vlad has some news here. Let me refresh. Come on. Hey, there you go.
Oh,
that's a big jump. What happened?
Holy moly.
Someone bought something big. What have you got down there?
Bump.
The Bancroft
bump. The bottom one? Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Nice.
So it's everything from both campaigns. Someone just went all out.
Yes.
Thanks, Vlad. Man, that's awesome.
Was that you, Vlad?
I would assume. Oh, yeah, but I would just assume.
Oh, he said he was showing 3K on his screen.
Oh, okay.
Woo! Yeah, we did it. Wendy was like, "We need to see this to 3K." Well, we did it. It's called the Bancroft bump, apparently.
That's
That's
whoever
not a
that
growth.
was. My apologies, but thank you.
It's not a growth on my back. It's when you come onto my show and people back it up. Vlad, he says he already backed it. So yeah. What's going on here? Bar Idea says, "Hey, Wyatt, I was looking for your project. There was a version on Amazon, seeing if that was different from this version."
That was actually when I was working on the novel. That was never released. That is separate from the comic, and like I say, it was when it was originally going to be a series of novels. We went ahead and had the solicitation for possible pre-orders. I've
disowns that version.
No, I've worked in the publishing industry in the past, and so some people they set up the solicitation for me, and so yeah, it's totally unrelated, and that book never came out, and it's probably not going to. So
well, someone's got a copy of it, and they've got it on Amazon. Maybe you should buy it. Get it off the.
Well, if they got it, they stole it off my computer.
Okay.
Amazon says
you've been hacked. Change your password.
or it's counterfeit.
Amazon just says out of print, limited availability, and then there's nothing. Like nobody's got it for sale.
Yeah. Like I say, it was just listed. It was listed for a solicitation. We stuck a funny pseudonym on there, and nothing ever became of that. That was probably 4 or 5 years ago. So. Yeah, so to answer the question, ignore that one.
That's the old news. Let's get to the new news.
Get that map up.
That
map.
Let's see.
I can't believe you're holding out on us like that.
All right, well, you find that map. I've got something I can show. Unless you have it right there. He's got it right there already. Okay. This guy's a pro. I'll pull that full screen.
Cool.
There we go. So is this based in a place that is familiar to us, or is just a pure fantasy?
This is pure fantasy. Totally came from my brain.
Love it.
As our story begins, ARDANNA's here, recruiting an ally from the dungeons here at Oakengard Keep, and they will proceed on east, and there's some action going on in here, and there's a little something happening up here. So this is the realm of Ulam Nur, and this is in the book. So very cool.
It's not a map of Chaz, Shane.
It is not.
Yeah, I'm just smiling because I as soon as I see a map, all of a sudden the world is real to me. You know,
Absolutely.
they're real places, real towns, real villages. There's histories with all the cities and everything, and the landscape.
Yeah, I think that one of the massive selling points of Game of Thrones initially. That really got people engrossed.
Look at the opening.
Yeah, exactly.
When I was growing up, there was a series of books called Lone Wolf. I don't know if you guys would be familiar. They were kind of like game books almost in a way. And there were 12 in the main first series. And, you know, you go through the first book and it continues to the next. And all the items, it was kind of like a choose your own adventure in a way, except your character had stats and all kinds of stuff, just like D&D or a video game or whatnot. And each book in the beginning had a map of the region you were in at the time, and it was different in each book because you traveled all around. And I was very inspired by that, and I thought that would be cool, and I'm probably going to change it up in each book for whatever regions we're in. So
yeah, I mean, fantastic. I before the final season of Game of Thrones, I went on a massive binge watching videos of like people going into all the different places on the map, you know, in Essos and Westeros, and talking about all the history of everything and all the people and blah blah blah. It was just so cool. It was actually a really like one of the best experiences I've ever had with Game of Thrones was watching these YouTube videos. It's quite unfortunate what happened with the end of that series, but just the map itself was just such a huge boon to the world building and the lore and everything. Absolutely. Apparently you got another backer.
Oh, nice.
Let's refresh that.
There you go.
Awesome.
Thank you so much. I borrow ideas. That's amazing. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hopefully you used my link or someone's link in here so that we get the credit.
Yeah.
It's all about bragging rights.
Did you say that you were working on a key or legend for the map, something like that? What was that?
There will be a legend in this version. In the Legendary Edition, we will have a legend for the map that will detail information about each of the locations on the map, and there will also be a character guide to give a little more information about our characters, and more than you can get from just the story itself in this first issue. So
nice. I read The Hobbit in an old hardcover my parents had growing up, and unfolding that folded map from the front of the hardcover, but it had all the little moon runes and all the stuff that comes out in the story already on it. And trying to decode that, just the legends always kind of, I don't know, they get me extra excited with maps like, hey, there's a decoder ring in it,
Oh yeah, that's awesome. Yeah.
Turns out we're all a bunch of map nerds.
Oh my goodness, who knew?
I could not do
photographer
a fantasy
stream
book and not have a map.
Shane says it's worse what happened to the books. He's apparently not buying the rest of the series. I'd never read the later books, so I don't know what happened.
Well, I guess the most recent one has been a bit of a letdown, and then of course he's taken so long to get to the next one. He says he's got 2 more at least to write, and I mean
he ain't gonna make it.
How's he gonna make it? Right?
He's not gonna make it.
Yeah.
I mean, even us when we're young, like when I say young, I mean like 30 and 40. We're worried about finishing out our story arcs.
Yeah.
Because these things they take a long time.
So Brandon Sanderson will have to come in and finish it for him or something like that.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I know that
Robert Jordan.
He's got people in line, but we know what happened with the showrunners of the HBO series. They just gave up after season 6 or something.
Yeah. Well, Martin wasn't part of the show for the last 3 seasons, right? So.
Oh.
But
yeah, well, that's not going to happen to ARDANNA.
It is not. I will not bugger up the ending.
What if HBO comes to you and like they park a truck in the front of your house? It's a dump truck, and they just lift it up, and it's just money pouring out onto your front yard, and you're like, well, all right.
I mean,
I'm only human.
I'd really like to finish the story before that happens. So I mean, maybe it'll work out that way. You know, I don't know that I could really. I don't know, man. I don't know that I could let someone just take the reins and finish my story before I did. That seems kind of I don't know.
I've been getting back into watching movies while I draw. I've been watching some movies recently. I watched Unforgiven. I watched The Prestige, and last night I watched The Matrix for the first time in a long time. And all movies that I can have on, I don't have to actually look at because I know them so well. And it's just hilarious to see, even if the creators can hold on to a lot of their original story, they can just go back later and just change it. And now apparently The Matrix is all about queer genders and anti-capitalism, apparently. What? I didn't see any of that in the first movie, but apparently that's what it's all about now.
Yeah.
Okay.
No. Exactly. And J.K. Rowling has done the same thing with Harry Potter. It's all just
yeah.
We'll see how that goes for them, I guess.
yeah. Because are they bringing out a new Matrix? Did I hear that right?
I don't know. Yeah, they're doing a fourth one. This is actually the exact thing that we talked about in my show earlier today. So for those who want to go check out, if Comicsgate is the key or is the answer to the failing entertainment, did we answer soon enough?
That sounds good. That sounds good. Yeah, Fatty, I do love The Illusionist. I always in my mind get the two confused sometimes, and I think because they're so similar in visually. And I remember things visually, and I kind of remember, was that in this one or that one? But I just watched The Prestige the other day, and it's better than what I remember. Bandito has a show. Yeah, you should go check it out. He's got some big plans too.
Yeah, we got some big plans.
It's all kicking off soon. So, speaking of Antoine, let me take this. Antoine is a regular here on our show, and we love him, and he's a very talented guy. Hey, sorry, Mel, hello, my wife, could you please bring back in the Wizard magazine that I took into the kitchen? Because I want to show that off. Antoine was in Wizard magazine back in the 90s.
Really?
Yeah. I want to show that off. I hope that doesn't embarrass you, Antoine. But, oh no, don't show that. That's not what I want to show. That's not what I wanted to show. Really, Doxy. Thank you so much. So first off, hang on, before I share that, I'll go full screen. How do I do that? Here we go. Solo layout. Yeah, look, this is Wizard number 26 on 93. And down there, corner, is our boy Antoine. That's his art. And they call him Antony.
How cool is that?
He's in college, and he's printed in Wizard magazine back when, I don't know if you guys were collecting and reading Wizard back then. This is the bee's knees.
I
look forward more to getting this than I did my comics at the time. So yeah, how cool is that? Well done, Antoine.
Awesome, man.
All right, I'm going to try and share the actual thing I was supposed to share, which okay, I'll get myself off that. Don't look at that. There we go. Exit solo. Okay. Chrome. No. Yeah, this one. Okay, so we go back here, and then we go to here. This is Antoine's final finished inks for his piece of my character, Ella Forsyth.
That's awesome.
And there it is, finished up. Check out this work. We definitely have to do something with this, my friend.
It's so good.
Because this is fantastic.
Yeah.
This is fantastic. And yes, I do. I'll look at coloring it, but I love the black and white too. I don't know. What do you guys think? The black and white looks like a woodcut or something. It's really clean and it just works so well.
Those inks are awesome.
You guys tell me.
No, you did good, Antoine. That looks so awesome. and definitely something, like I said before, you know, you got something magical happening with your book when the fan art starts coming in. And
yes, this is my second ever piece of fan art.
So
I don't know if I can make it a print, Shane, because I'm running out of
weight.
So if I can incorporate something that I've already got with this, and you know, we can make sure that Antoine makes a bit of money too off it.
Maybe
and
inside back cover.
Yeah, mate, something. We'll have to figure something out. Yeah, great, awesome. Also, as well, on top of this, we go back to.
Yeah, that's awesome, Antoine. Oh my goodness.
I'm glad I'm an inspiration to you, Antoine.
You don't speak much Poland, but when you do, it's very funny.
It's crazy when you get some of that first fan art, man. I didn't really even know what to think. I was just like, damn, really? And my gosh, there's been so much ARDANNA and Rocket Gal fan art since then that
it really is. I don't know. Awesome. It's kind of humbling and just awesome, and you're like, wow, someone spent a lot of time and used their precious time and their skill on this creation. Just fantastic. And I got this. Now this is not folded, so the posters that I'm going to be sending out will have to be folded, otherwise I won't be able to send them. I don't know how the color is coming through. There's a bit of a glow on that.
Oh my goodness!
Is that an A3?
That's A3.
Wow.
Yeah. So this is the poster. It's on really nice thick paper too. This is Mixum as well.
Oh,
that's nice. Yeah.
You need to do your map.
I'm trying to get it so that there's not so much glare on it. Oh yeah. So there you go. I've got a little few adjustments to do on this, but that's
the one at the $61 reduced tier.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's right.
Well, it's looking good, and this is the magic of Comicsgate. I mean, we got so many cool projects, so many neat little things happening, and when you get great minds together, you end up having amazing projects. And Michael just happens to have, I don't know, 7 or 8 great minds in him in order to get to do all the things for the project.
Shane wants to know if I can pop by his place in Sydney, hand deliver the poster.
Ooh,
I think I set the shipping to $8. I don't know if that'll cover it. Flights are a bit expensive at the moment.
We need like DoorDash, but for Comicsgate.
There you go.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe one day I'll be rich like Ethan, and I'll just won't care, and I'll just send everything out in tubes, and it'll all be fine. I don't know. We'll see. It grow bit by bit each year. That's how we do it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, 437 backers on the Lucent. Wow,
looking good.
And I think the Aussie dollar went up, so now my US numbers look better. And I got one backer. It went up overnight. I got one backer that night. But it went up by about $500 or something. I was like, oh, that worked out all right, I guess. Thanks, Mandy. Mandy had me on her show really early, and it was great. Not only was it a fun time, you know why. It's always fun to be on Mandy's show. She puts on a good show.
Mm-hmm.
But it's I got a lot of backers from that. So thank you again. Shane, if it's not a bother, well, I'll look into it. If I'm up in Sydney, I do have a few friends up there I could go meet. I'll have a think about it.
Do a run.
Before we get too late, Rafe, I know I came in late, so sorry if you already answered this, but is your campaign the start of something ongoing, or do you have a limit in mind?
Well, it is the beginning of something ongoing, but I do know the end of the story, and I do know all the major milestones in between, but it will definitely go for a while. Yeah.
Okay, so this isn't like a 6-issue mini. This is something bigger. Cool.
Yeah, I would, I can't say what the exact number will be, but it will definitely be
bigger.
Yeah, there are quite a few, each book after the first one here, it'll be its own self-contained story, but the overall story will last throughout the series. It will take the entire series.
Part of a larger narrative.
Cool. So you're not exactly writing for the trade. Good. That's awesome.
Right.
Yeah, it's a hard thing. How often do you plan on getting out new issues of ARDANNA?
Man, I'd like to do a couple a year. So, yeah, it depends on how well everything goes. I like to move pretty quickly. Especially as I don't have to draw it. So, I can
it's easy for you.
I can move pretty fast. I'd like to move pretty quickly. I think it'll take a few years to tell the whole story.
Mandy says 3 to 4 a year, Wyatt. Come on, pick up the pace.
I don't know about that.
She's getting the whip out.
Hey, it depends on what CG does between now and then, right?
Yeah, well, whoever can unlock the 4 comics or 6 comics a year, they're going to be the model to beat. That's for sure.
Oh well, Zach he's on his way. He was. I just watched a video of him today, and he's like, just before I start, his new book, The No Thing, Expendables, Jawbreakers, Pandemic still going.
Yep.
Iron Sights.
Yeah. So he's doing it.
There you go.
Yeah. So I mean,
it's funny actually. Like different people do it, have a different approach. Ethan said he's happy just putting out Cyberfrog a year and making it a massive event. Mm-hmm. He has something in print the whole time. John says no, just for the campaign. And then everyone in between. Everyone's got their own ideas of how how they want to do it, and as long as it's working, I think it's working. I think it's working really well. Mm-hmm. The fact that I'm sitting on 437 backers to me says that it's working, at least for me. And I see a lot of other people out there getting crazy amounts of success and growth, especially on their second campaigns.
Yeah. Well, man, it took me the first time around. It took me all 60 days it took me the full 60 days to make the 3,500 that I was looking for the first time around. I mean, it's so much different now. Comicsgate has just exploded. And
the biggest difference I think I've heard is Antonio Bryce, who tried to get Brand to happen, and just no one was interested. And it was with sorry, what's his artist called again?
With Kane and White.
With Kane and White. It was with Kane and White, and they couldn't get the thing funded.
Wow, yeah.
And then once it got the attention that it deserved, and there was a massive event. And as well, his second book hasn't performed as well. He hasn't been out there as much as he was in the first campaign on the streams and everything. So it really does go to show, being out there constantly in front of people's faces is part of the success.
Yeah, that's that's what we try to that's what we try to tell that's what we tell people on Mandy's channel is really discoverability is the hurdle. If you can get the eyeballs on it, then if your product's sound and everything looks great, and if you getting the eyeballs on it sometimes is the hardest part. So
yeah, you've got to do something that catches people's attention, and it might not have to do anything to do with your book. For me, I had the animations, and that caught people's eye, and then they started looking into me. And other people have other things as well. I don't know. It seems like a few people have had a lot of success getting eyes on them because of animations or songs or something like that. Just whatever it is to get people knowing that you exist. That's the first hurdle. And then, but once you're there, it's got to be constant. because people are busy. People have lots of things going on in their lives, and they may think, "Oh, I really want to back ARDANNA," but they're busy right now. They can't. And if you're not continuously reminding them every day, they might just forget or become disinterested, and that's the worst thing possible. You really need to kind of be out there in front of them every day. But yeah, that first hurdle is the hard one.
Yeah, when you're running around with a new campaign with your 150 followers on Twitter because you've been around a month and nobody knows who you are. I'm speaking from experience here, by the way.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's a little more difficult. I mean,
I've always said Twitter is the hardest platform to get an audience on. Twitter followers are hard won. You need something. It's either going to take a long time, and you've got to be at it constantly, or you've got to have something go viral. But also as well, you've got to have the right audience. If you build your audience, say you're doing like political memes, and then you try and sell them on comic books, well, then you're up shit creek, really.
Yeah,
so you've got to have the right kind of people.
I think on Twitter it's just really easy to waste a lot of time with the wrong group. So there's so many options, and there isn't any direction. There's no rudder. There's no compass, and you just start kind of interacting, and you have spent a month before you realize, oh, these are not the people I need to be talking to. And then they lead
a
you
month.
Well,
I spent 4 years doing that.
Yeah, I don't know. I found it pretty easy to build something on Twitter, but at least interaction I find is really easy on Twitter. YouTube, though, is another animal. So, I mean, you're in the same spot, kind of what you're saying. You got to figure out who your audience is, and then they're hard one. Even if you put something good up, you're only as good as your last video. So, yeah. But I don't know. Every part of social interaction is brand new, so everyone is just figuring it out, and we don't always make the best choices. But I think it's definitely the best way for us to build a community like this still.
Generatron brings up a good point that these books are expensive. Like I think most people are taking the route of expensive premium quality items. So you are exactly right. There's at least a dozen books out there right now that I would love to back. I would love to, but being in Australia as well, it's the added shipping with the Aussie dollar as well. It just makes it impossible. I can't back all the books that I want to back. So it puts the onus on us creators to really sell things as hard as we can. To that note, I'm going to be going on to Couch Doodle's channel at the end of the week.
Nice.
Yeah, so that's going to be a lot of fun. I really like that guy.
What day are you going to be there?
I think it will be Friday night. I think.
Okay. Yeah, I'll be there Thursday. So yeah.
There you go.
Nice.
I'll come after you. All right, awesome. Well, Wyatt, it's been fantastic talking to you.
Man,
nice to speak
thank
to you again. Your book looks amazing, as it always has. I'm going to actually refresh it and see if you got any more backers. Just quietly. No, just the same. Okay. Look forward to seeing you out there, and thanks again for coming on. I know I always give people short notice because I just got 100 million balls in the air that I'm trying to juggle here. Thank you to Bandito, Blue, and Poland as always. Love having you guys on.
Always great to be here. Thanks for having us.
No problem.
Great to hang out with you, Wyatt. Always a pleasure meeting new people and just being able to chill.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, I've seen you around for a while. I just don't know that we've ever shown up in the same place.
No, probably not.
Yeah.
That's the good thing about these shows.
Yeah, absolutely.
And making new friends. And speaking of making new friends, everybody in the chat, absolutely massive hails to you. I see so many new faces in the chat today, and I know a lot of that has to do with you, Wyatt, and Mandy have brought a lot of your audience here. So thank you guys so much for that. I hope you guys can subscribe. We do this every night, pretty much.
Pretty much.
We meet someone new, or we talk about whatever's going on. We're just a chilled, relaxed bunch of people. We like to have a laugh. So hit the like button as well. Look at me, I'm like a real YouTuber now. And
yeah,
I know.
Subscribe, hit that like button, ring that bell, do all those things.
So, there you go. One more.
That's right. All that stuff. Thank you. Wyatt knows more than I do about this game.
Give it a big thumbs up. Gotta smash that thumbs up.
Smang it. Absolutely. All right, guys. Thanks so much again. How to everyone. You've been brilliant, and we will see you tomorrow.
Cheers.
Take care.
Night.
Good night.
Bye.
Finally, I can take this hair off.